Remember that video I made a few years back about an untitled Zelda comic I doodled in school? Well, that was neither the first nor the longest comic I drew on lined paper while I was half listening to lectures. This is Oh Snap, a comic I drew in maybe 2007, 2008. Either way, it was a very different time. I think I drew this cover art just as its own standalone picture, and I added Oh Snap as the caption, and then that just became the title when I decided to turn it into a comic. It's a big ol' mess that's over 100 pages, and I think I'm gonna actually read this one, unlike the Zelda comic. At least the first half, I kinda like the first half, but then after the roughly 60-page mark, it really loses focus, and it's not worth going over every page then. But without further ado, who's ready for an adventure? It opens with Pac-Man sleeping, and a weight is lowered over his head. You see Inky there in the corner. Boo! Ah! What was that for? For lols. Lol? Yeah, you can definitely tell when this was written. What's that you have there? This? See for yourself. Tap. When I can move, you are dead. I kinda am dead. I mean, I'm a ghost. I'll eat you then! Ah! Almost there. QZX. I don't know why he says QZX there. I honestly think my thought process was these three letters in particular are not used often enough. They have to have more exposure. So Inky slams the door, he locks it. Whew, that's all over. Knock knock. Crash! And there's this dynamic shot. Oh, snap! Because I had to have the name of the comic become the running catchphrase of the whole thing. And then there's this interesting couple of panels where you see Inky up against the door, and then there's this 180-degree turn where Pac-Man's charging towards him, but then the lamp is in the same place in both panels. It's kind of funky. And that turns out to be foreshadowing because he picks up the lamp and wham! Pac-Man falls unconscious. Ha! 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 Inky picks up the phone. And then the moment the dial tone ends, yo! I zapped its yellow round fat pizza thing and it chased me into my house and broke my window and now it's on my floor because... What? Just get over here and bring the others. Okay. A week later, he's still knocked out? Is it dead? Now here we have Blinky and Pinky. Dead? It's breathing. Pizza can breathe? I learn something new every day. And then there's Clyde. Now the actual Pac-Man games have, of course, Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde, or sometimes Sue. And because that name sticks out like a sore thumb, I figured the character should also stick out like a sore thumb, and I just made him this lol random character, and I made him look a little bit like a trash bag where he's kind of got this grungy looking shading. I'm probably not going to read much of Clyde's dialogue, but it's there. Who invited him? I did. Sorry I forgot to warn you. I took him here before I brought you. Let's boot him! Guys, we're focusing on the pizza man. Oh yeah. What do we do with it? We could eat him. Let's keep it as a pet. Why don't we try selling it? Turn it into a beanbag. Frame it. Stuff it and make it a plush toy. On 3, let's jump on it. We could throw it off a building. Beat it with a pole. Well, we won't just befriend it. No, let's make it our slave. Why don't we torture it for fun? Should I get my fire hose? Let's stuff a bomb in its mouth. No, let's... Ah! What? It moved. Are you sure? Yes! I wouldn't be surprised. This thing's been here for a whole week after all. Yeah! I like this heebie-jeebies shot here. Okay, I saw it that time. What do you say we do? Don't ask me why this one panel isn't fully capitalized. I think I just forgot. And then they look around. Where'd Pinky go? Ah! Hey, I just noticed something. This guy was only half paralyzed for a few seconds when I struck him with a bolt of lightning. But when I hit him with a lamp, he goes unconscious for a week. Okay, this here... I think I realized this at this point in the comic and how inconsistent that is, and so I just decided to, no pun intended, lampshade it. So this is just me inserting my own thoughts into the character. A lamp? Yeah. Dude, lamps for the win! Again, so clear when this was written. Okay, I got a plan. I'm gonna go look for Pinky, you stay here and watch the pizza guy. But if anything happens, use the lamp! And then he plays the Serenade of Water and warps to Lake Hylia, I guess. Except he doesn't, because he's literally right outside the house in the next page. Pinky! 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 Pinky. Are you in the dark forest, Pinky? Pinky! Pinky! Back in Inky's house. What? Stand back! I have a lamp! It's just me. Just Pinky. Oh. Did it wake up at all? No, I don't think he's going to wake up very soon. What makes you say that? I hope he won't, anyway. Don't you worry that he might jump up? He has been moving some. Yeah. But I have a lamp! What's so great about the lamp? This is what knocked out the pizza man, remember? Oh yeah. Say, where's Blinky? I think he's looking for you. Huh. Back in the forest. Pinky! Pinky! Maybe I should head back. I probably would have found Pinky by now if he was out here. Wait. I'm hopelessly lost, sad face. Maybe I could just go through these trees. I am a ghost. Smashes directly into a tree. Ugh. At least that wasn't a lamp. Back in Inky's. You know, the storyline of this comic is kind of boring now. Yep, meta-commentary all of a sudden. Well, yeah, but at least the blob of fat isn't awake now. Oh yeah, I forgot. This is when I thought the word fat was hilarious. That's before my metabolism stopped working as well, so, joke's on me. Why don't we eat him? Is that safe? Have you thought of hitting it again with that lamp? I keep thinking that might wake him up or something. You mean like it might counter what you already did? Yeah, I can't let this lamp go to waste. And then the first full-page panel, Rah! And the catchphrase of the comic again, and Clyde says something random. The chase begins. Running away from Pac-Man, or floating away. Use the lamp! He takes a triumphant leap. He swings the lamp, it flies away out the window, falls off a cliff. Now, I love this moment here. Pac-Man is charging after Pinky, who's next to the door. So he opens the door, crashes through the wall, and just continues chomping away in a blind rage. He got a good week's rest. Back to Blinky in the forest. If anyone can hear me, I'm lost. Like on that show. Except on the show called Lost, there's a whole bunch of people that crash-landed onto a crazy island that has a timer that some guy always restarts, and there's like 2,000 characters that'll have their own stories that apparently must fit together in the end, which doesn't seem to make much sense in my opinion. In my case, I'm stuck in a dark and very odd forest with a bunch of trees, which is quite normal for a forest, and I got here because I was, and probably still should be, looking for Pinky since he ran away like a scaredy cat when that yellow big-mouthed bowling ball moved a little, which leads me to wonder whether it's moved recently, even though that should not be my current concern, seeing as... Oh, right! Thing is, I'm still hopelessly lost. Hey! It's a Walmart! Okay. If you've ever watched Looney Tunes Back in Action, I straight up plagiarized this joke from that movie, but I recall I had a friend in middle school named Gavin, and he was reading this comic, and he got to this page and just died laughing, and even though this is not an original joke, it felt good to make him laugh that much. I'd never seen him laugh that much before. Well, there's a gaping hole in that wall, the window's broken, the lamp is gone, Clyde is incredibly stupid, and now the big beach ball is loose. What are we gonna do? I'll tell you what we'll do. What? You know, I forgot. Oh yeah, we're gonna eat the pizza! I mean, he's the whole reason you ran off and Blinky's still out there. Do you think he's lost? Well, wherever he is, he's probably not very happy. I am really happy! Oh, this stupid song. I'm going to Walmart for the goods they're selling. Grapes, apples, cherries, oranges, don't forget a melon, I think. Like, I think when writing it, I recognized that the rhyme was incredibly forced, and that's why I added the little I think there, like I was second-guessing myself even back then. It's so stupid. Wow, look at all the pizza that's in here. Wham! Oh noes, that pizza just attacked me. Wait an hour, that's the pizza man. Are you one of those ghosts? It can talk? That's a yes! Ah! Clean up on aisle 5. You got a few panels that actually resemble the Pac-Man game. I didn't draw it this way, but I like to imagine that the whole overhead view of the aisles of the grocery store are a Pac-Man maze in and of themselves. That would have been a nice panel to put here, but oh well. And what's that? A cherry on the ground. Blinky picks up the cherry, throws it, successfully distracts Pac-Man. And then he sees the busted open wall where Pac-Man entered. Wow, that blob causes all kinds of crazy destruction. I'm gonna follow the dirt. It should lead me to Inky's. And then Pac-Man from indoors, with vengeance, remembers what Inky did to him. While the fricking Walmart smiley face is in the background. How are we going to find the pizza? It could be anywhere. I think I would follow the trail of dirt. Yeah. So let's go! Then Clyde says, "Can I come?" With rather unfortunate incidental spelling. I was just trying to spell the word in a silly way. I didn't know what this meant. We were thinking you'd stay and keep watch for strangers. 'Kay. I dranked all to peanut butter. I said I wouldn't read most of Clyde's dialogue, but for some reason that line in particular, I like peanut butter. You think that was a good idea, Inky? Meh, the house can't get much worse than it is now. Now, this is one of my favorite stupid gags in the whole thing. You see the trail of wreckage from Pac-Man blasting through buildings on his way to the Walmart, and as seen here, he intentionally avoided a building marked spinach, which I... Part of it is just the fact that Pac-Man, in this rage, is either consciously or unconsciously repulsed by the idea of spinach, but also the fact that this entire building is apparently dedicated to just spinach, to the point where it has an exclamation mark. It's so dumb, and I love it. Inky? Pinky? Blinky! I haven't seen you in like 20 minutes! What happened to you, Blinky? Well, to make a long story short, I was out looking for Pinky and eventually got lost in the middle of a dark forest where I said a bunch of stuff about that Lost show, and when I was halfway through rambling, I spotted an exit sign out of the forest, and I went to Walmart where I saw a bunch of wonderful fruits and foods and dots and pizzas, and one pizza attacked me, but it was the pizza face, and he chased me, and I gave him a cherry, and I made my escape, and then I found you, and I started my story about me looking for Pinky, and eventually... Hold on a sec. You were looking for Pinky? You told me that's what he was doing, remember? Oh. Well then, what's this about pizza attacks? According to the script, there's gonna be another attack soon, so next time you see Pac-Man, act surprised. Who's Pac-Man? Lols, you didn't read the script. Oh, okay. Okay, guys, let's eat him! Guys? Boo roar! Ah! Oh snap again. And again, and again, and again, and again. Oh snap, oh snap, oh snap. Dead end! Any last words? I have a question. I hate Pac-Man's expression here, by the way. How'd you get so huge? Good question. I guess it was the consumption of some shards of lamp. Or maybe... And they talk in the distance, and it's revealed that they are at the bottom of the cliff right next to Inky's house. And Clyde is still there, saying a bunch of nonsense as usual, and then he says, I is goings to eat the lamp I founded it in the cliff. He bites into it, goes... and then grows the entire sides of the house. He takes his leap directly towards Pac-Man. Aw, crab. Now, I love this stupid panel here, because you see Pinky over here just out of nowhere, for no reason, eating a drumstick and going, chicken. So stupid. Alright. I'm good. So, Clyde is stuffed to the gills with Pac-Man, and they ask him, how did you get so huge? I guess it was the consumption of some shards of lamp, or maybe... If I ever get out of here, I feel the sensation of diarrhea. Now, this line warrants some explanation. There was this short animation on Newgrounds years ago called Soft Taco that my friends and I watched and quoted all the time. And what happens at the end of that little cartoon is the guy eats an entire soft taco in one bite, burps, makes this face, and says this exact line. So, really obscure reference that unfortunately had consequences in this comic, because it is implied that the diarrhea does actually happen off-panel. Ew, it's like waist deep. Please, I just ate. Uh-oh. And he pukes, and it's gross, and, yeah. Then they decide to swim home. Although what they mean by swim home is just, why don't we climb that rock wall, okay? And, it's no longer entirely off-screen because you're seeing their waist-deep drippy mess here. Thankfully, it's all black and white, so it's not as gross. And then there's more oh snap because the house has been destroyed. Is the bathtub still okay? What bathtub? Okay, we're gonna have to go to my place to wash up. More Clyde stuff that I'm not gonna read. And now, 35 pages in, we're introduced to a new character back at the cliff. Ah! Ah! Someone ate my BF! That's right, we have Miss Pac-Man here, who, these days, is no longer canonically a Namco character. I'm gonna pound their face in! Of course, first I'll have to cross the river. Ew. Let me go get my yacht. Yeah, I made her like this prissy character, but I feel like it only lasts for this page. I don't remember anything like this happening again. And then I felt the need to apologize for the diarrhea, even though it's not entirely going away. Now we're at Pinky's. I kinda like how Clyde here is wrapped up in a towel. It's a little bit cute. The storyline of this comic is getting weirder and weirder. I thought it ended. I mean, Pac-Man's gone, right? Yeah. But now you need a new house, Inky. Oh yeah. Ow, my nose that doesn't exist. Sorry. Blinky, do you know where we could find Inky a new house? Chicago? Nah, not Chicago. How about the Southern Hemisphere? There aren't any houses for sale over there. There's probably one house. Disneyland! I got it! Really? No. Smiley face. Whatever, this is getting confusing. Where'd I put my eyes? What? Just no eyes on this panel for no reason. I'm gonna go to bed. Let's worry about all this later. Good night. I rest my eyes, but... oh, here they are. And then it's revealed that Pinky lives in a castle, but it's called Pinky's Cabin. Nice library, Pinky. Thanks. And then Miss Pac-Man makes it up the cliff. Blah! It's hard to climb when you're round. Yeah! She finds Inky's house. I think I'll look in the half-destroyed house for the guy that ate my BF. But apparently it's still burning wreckage, so... yeah, I'm on fire! Stop, drop, and roll! Yeah, spit. And I went a little bit overboard with the loop-de-loops, and there's even a couple of corkscrews thrown in because I liked drawing those. Wham! What just happened? I'm gonna keep looking for that person. And starts rolling away again. The ghosts have left the castle. Hush. Hush! How'd Clyde get so dumb exactly? Long story. I'm listening. Well, when he died and turned into a ghost, he got severe brain damage. That wasn't a very long story. Okay, I lied. Then he just speaks a bunch of binary. I'm sure it doesn't translate to anything meaningful. Whoa! They stumble upon an ancient ruin. It's a bit run down, but I like it. Cool! And this is the introduction of the menacing black orb. I don't like this. Well, you are a stupid fatty. It's like a black death orb. I'm kinda attached to it. Not sure why. The last thing we need is a crazier plot. Come on. Hey, you're right. Take it away. You're taking the orb away? That took a year to build. And that's the last we see of the black orb. Now that that's over with, let's keep looking for my new house. Guys, Inky's house. It's demolished. We know. That's why I'm looking for a new house. Oh. Then there is much laughter, and Blinky is genuinely upset looking. And then there is much crying. He races towards a cliff of spikes. Blinky, goodbye! Psh, there's no cliff. But then, just because, he gets teleported away by a vortex. What are we doing? Where'd Blinky go? Blinky? Yes! No, my name's Pinky. I know, but what about Blinky? My name's Pinky, and I'm not changing it. No, where'd Blinky go? I know you're Pinky! What are you talking about? About Blinky! Who the heck is Blinky? Don't tell me you forgot. Who's Blinky? Stop fooling me! Really, who is this guy? Is he a ghost? Clyde, do you remember Blink? Oh, why am I even asking you? Who's that guy Blinky is friends with? Guys, let's go to Fuzzy's! Minutes pass, and then this is the introduction of my, I guess, Pac-Man ghost OC Fuzzy, who was made just for this. Hey, hi, do you know Blinky? Who's Blinky? How can you not remember? Okay, either I'm crazy, or everyone else in the world is. Probably me. Alright, so this whole plot development, or whatever you want to call it, I'm not going to claim originality for it. This whole idea was taken directly from an episode of Eureka, a sci-fi show that my dad and I used to watch. But unlike that episode of Eureka, this whole thing will not end with a valid explanation or an explanation at all. Anyway, Inky goes to the doctor. Honestly, this whole page is kind of useless. He gets a different doctor named Dr. Will. So what's wrong with you? Eyes? Body? Mind? I think, so it's not mind. I'd say it is. Huh. Okay, I'll scan you real quick. Flash! I'm surprised by this panel here. It's got this weirdly artistic choice where there's no defined lines to the artwork, so it looks brighter that way. Good news, nothing's wrong. That scan was pointless. We can do without this part. Well, you're absolutely okay in every way. That'll be $6,000. Plus tax. Bump. Much later. So I'm fine. So Blinky actually just disappeared from the world and everyone's memory. And we see Pinky. Hey, Ink! Freaking explodes. Why? Oh no, not again. So now we have Miss Pac-Man going to, literally, Smallville, another show that my dad used to watch a lot. Lo in there! Did anyone here eat my BF? I take it that's a no. Then she goes to the land of the giants. Hi up there! Did anyone here eat my BF? I take it that's a no. So she repeats this process going to Atlantis, to Tatooine, to the Mushroom Kingdom, to a random desert that isn't Tatooine, then a clock, then back to the house she started with. Oh, what, are you blind or something, idiot? That's a no. Fuzzy, Pinky's gone too. Who's Pinky? Okay, Fuzzface, you need to help me. I don't know how to... Bullfrog! What's that and what does it do? That's a doohickey and it stops people from putting on hats. Can you keep people from disappearing randomly and leaving people's memories? I might, but it could take decades. We don't have that long. What do you need this for? For saving the world. Okay, cool. What else have you got? I have a lightning rod thing somewhere. Memories of page 1. Do you think we can zap everyone with a no disappearing ray or something? No, wait, I got it. I think we can zap everyone with a no disappearing ray or something. That's kind of what I like it. Really? I just said it because you did. Okay, I like this because it's specifically just ripping off the joke from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 where they're talking about Doc Ock, except instead of J. Jonah Jameson keeping the credit, he just flat out admits to stealing the idea. So how will we make this thing, mans? Haha, you're almost starting to sound like Clyde, lol. I sound like Clyde now, do I? Who's Clyde? Oh no. By the way, I was kidding. And this is the page where these two disparate plot lines converge. Miss Pac-Man arrives back here at the diarrhea river that is Pac-Man because he was excreted from Clyde's ghost anus. Then zap! The ghosts strike the pool with this weather machine. Wow, you got that working quick. I just modified the lightning weather creator thing to do it. They hear a distant screaming. It's Miss Pac-Man. What does she see? Packy-Boo? And now he is a ghost. I actually kind of like to think about what would happen if Pac-Man became a ghost in one of the actual games, because I feel like that would kind of change the dynamic a little bit. It would be like this existential crisis. He makes a joke about being a Packy-Boo. He says, time to avenge my own death. Hey, I'm trying to do that now. Oh, really? Yeah, really? Again, 2000s. To the Pac-Mobile! Woo! Nothing has changed. We don't have a Pac-Mobile, do we? No. Avenging my own death will be harder than I thought. Wait a second. I know that weirdo that ate me. This makes things slightly easier. And then, I don't think I had a very high attention span when I wrote this comic. Like, as soon as I thought it was losing steam, I needed to do something to shake it up, and usually it was something totally off the wall and random like this. We interrupt this soon-to-be boring conversation so we can show you this comic. Ooh, it's a pogo stick! Jumps on a ladder. Ah! Like I said, whatever. So as I was saying, we need to eat the other ghosts. How do we do that? We swallow. I mean, how do we find them? 2 hours later. We look? Oh, snap. Well, we should probably start looking now rather than later. Inky notices that there are dots disappearing from this screen map. Fuzzy doesn't notice anything because he always forgets when someone disappears, which, frankly, I'm a little surprised with my past self that I even thought of that detail. Then Clyde comes in. How's it going? Ah! Where'd you come from? He says, in Clyde speak, I was getting chased by a guy who disappeared. Seriously? Whoa. Clyde remembers the people that disappear. Boing, 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 boing. Do you remember Blinky and Pinky? Yes. Do you see the dots vanishing? Yes. Clyde, is your name Abraham Lincoln? No. Just making sure. It's a long shot, but do you think you could tell Fuzzy how to operate a no-disappearing ray? Then, in approximately 2 seconds, Clyde builds a working machine. I make a couple of needless references to Newgrounds awards. They stop these random ghosts from vanishing, and presumably all ghosts from vanishing. Oh, snap! Good work, Stinky! How did you do that? It was a simple reenactment of several science fiction novels' laws of science. Clyde, have you turned into a genius? Pooh. Well, it was a stupid possibility anyway. So then they intentionally disappear to travel to the alternate dimension where supposedly the other ghosts went. Mr. and Mrs. Pac arrive slightly late. They fall from the sky, crash into the ground. Clyde's okay though, he's an umbrella now. So they go to this town called Nonsense with a bunch of ghosts who are just like Clyde, and they recognize him and he is their king. You can see why I don't want to read as much of this now. There's more stupid interruptions. There is this part where they explain that Clyde became a king because before he died, he was a rocket scientist and he shot a missile that cloned himself but also killed him, so this is an entire kingdom of his clones. The part that kind of strikes me about this page is that you see him before he died, but the only difference is that he doesn't have the zigzag on the bottom of the cloth. He still looks like a ghost. It's like being a ghost is barely any different from being alive in this quote-unquote canon that I created. Clyde leaves the kingdom by throwing a party that will last for all eternity. The Pac people are still looking around. The ghosts try a different dimension. They end up in the Kokiri Forest because why not? Now, I like this here. Look at this dimension map for a moment. We have Pac-Man, Clyde's Kingdom, and then Kokiri Forest is just the name of an entire dimension. It's not Hyrule, it's not Ocarina of Time, it is specifically Kokiri Forest. That is a whole dimension. We've also got Mushroom Kingdom, Monkey Island, Space for Rent. Perhaps my favorite, you have Earth over here, then in the distance, the Sun, and immediately next to the Sun is the North Pole. Sure. Anyway, there's some shenanigans where they go through the Deku Tree. It's not important. We go back to Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man. They put on some fireproof paint and explore the burning wreckage of Inky's house, and they find the cord of the lamp. Meanwhile, back in the Great Deku Tree, they fall down a hole and it's Dodongo's cavern for some reason. Miss Pac-Man eats the lamp cord, grows to be about a quarter the size of Earth. My life is really messed up. She spits Pac-Man all the way to Hyrule and kills King Dodongo in the process, then she jumps there herself and shrinks on the way. So they all reconvene and they're like, okay, nobody kill each other until we figure out what the heck is going on. And then there's no more beef after that, they're just cool. Kind of like this moment where Pac-Man is just suddenly in awe of the heart piece and the way out. And then they just continue talking as if it's not there. Clyde presses the button again, they go to Star Wars. The opening title crawl is a physical object in space. It's inconsistent, of course, because Miss Pac-Man already went to Tatooine earlier in the comic, but it wasn't a big deal then. And then they go to an episode of Blockhead, because Blockhead was my Flash cartoon obsession at the time, followed by R. Wappin's music video for Everything You Know Is Wrong by Weird Al, followed by, huh? Is this a school? Who's that? Oh snap, we gotta go. Flash! And it was Pico's school all along. They go to, this looks the same! Who's that? Oh snap, we gotta go! And it was Riddle School. Just poking fun at my own unoriginality. Then they find Pinky. You got Pinky! This panel might as well be the end of the comic, because I have no idea what happens after this. There's like television static, and then commercials, and then Inky like turns into a monster and explodes out of the core of the earth above a box. And then it all culminates to Mario waking up suddenly in the middle of the night going, ah! Wow, what a messed up dream. I think I'll get some water. And he walks to the fridge, and Pac-Man's in the kitchen, and he's like, I'm going back to bed. The end. Like I said, really degenerates really fast, which is why I like the first half but not the second. But we have a nice back cover here, because I figured, well, there's a front cover, there might as well be a back cover, with quotes from my friends who read the comic back then. Quotes including, "That's hilarious, dude. I can't wait to bomb Dodongo. How do you draw blockheads so well? How do you draw blockheads so well? Awesome. I like fuzzy." And perhaps the most apt quote of the bunch, "What just happened?" Which was a quote from me. Hope you enjoyed that fever dream, and don't eat lamps.